All right, here we go. Welcome to September the 8th, 2021, gathering in the City of Lawrence Board and Parks and Recreation. The weather is spectacular outside. We do, and as I do brag on this gathering, we have fun stuff to get updated on. We got fun stuff that are some actionable business. So let's get going. Thank you, Ms. D, for getting the minutes out. Hopefully y'all have had a chance to look at them. If there are any additions, subtractions, corrections, please make them now or forever hold your peace.
Hey, Scott, I got one thing.
Yes, sir.
Down under director's comments, the second paragraph, batting cage, do we mean the field house or whatever we were calling that thing? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, yes.
So you might want to just...
Well, and that's the thing. The one that is at Lee Road, and this it is schematics, but it is the Lee Road complex is strictly a batting cage.
We're just talking about the batting cage.
No, it's an indoor batting cage.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Are we talking about we're talking about building a field house type thing, right?
Built a pole structure which would allow for batting cages inside and spread the nets out and have other.
Yeah.
I think we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Terminology.
Yeah.
No restrooms.
Because batting cage means, to me, means a movable thing you put.
Right, that traditional outdoor. Okay, I see where you're going. Okay. All right, being no corrections, I'd entertain a motion. Anyone?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go. You guys can arm wrestle each other. Real quick, my comments is, I'm just going to throw some dates out so we can just get on the record. There's lots of stuff going on in the big city that will involve the Parks involvement here real quick. On October 1st at 10 a.m., we're going to have we have a plaque over Brooks Boulevard by the PX. We will be having, honoring the last commanding General Fort Harrison, General Brooks. We're going to have a ceremony there at 10 a.m. on October the 1st, and there will be a blanket invitation going out to citizenry. On October 2nd, we have the Indy Half Marathon that's out here, and they do utilize Eric Sterrett Center and all that happy stuff, correct?
Yes.
Parks Foundation is going to be, and we'll hear some more about that in a bit, out over at Community Park on the Sunday, October 3rd. And I'm kind of excited about this. We had a really good meeting between Judith and Miss Corey on Day of the Dead celebration that will be coming up October the 9th. Make sure I have that right. It'll be a neat experience, especially folks that have never been a part of that. The city is sponsoring their Lawrence Dew Day on October the 15th, which is always fun. We can have that. And Loggers of Lawrence Going Back, that's on Lift a Cold One on September 18th. Is that correct there, Eric? And that's at the Cultural Campus? And that's tickets and stuff like that. Get them online. And it's also the same day. What is that? Brews and Blues at the State Park. Barbecue, and I'm sure there'll be some brews with that. And that's also on the 18th of September. So we got some fun stuff, neat stuff coming up here. Just a couple things real quick, Eric. Where are we at in the budget process?
The council sent to the finance committee the salary ordinance and the tax amounts, so they'll be hearing those on the 15th.
Okay.
I don't believe that they will have the budget process until the 15th.
Okay, got it.
It will be introduced to the council.
And I'm going to bring back in October, I'm going to get some input. I would like to have an opportunity in October to act upon maybe adding 3 additional catering opportunities to folks for our 2 facilities. You know, some people got their tail feathers ruffled a bit over it. Plenty of opportunities to participate, folks. But we're going to reach out again. We'd like to add 3 more folks' options. So I'll be reaching out to some folks there to to get involved if they're interested in providing their services at Gin Park or the Starrett Center. So hopefully come back in October with that. A couple things, Eric, real quick. Please look and see if there's anything out at the football fields on Sunday, because LTFL, they have 4 games they would like to play out there. Make sure that, but please do that. A couple other items there. Signage and the fencing, I know I'm bugging you about that, but some of the signage at Burns Park there is a bit damaged, and the soccer fencing still continues to be eesh. And any update on any recent break-ins, vandalism, anything woolly like that?
The only break-in I know of, last week we had another break-in at the football concession. The same MO, candy, and,
Right.
and various things. We put it back together, so it seems to me it's probably the same.
Same, okay. And just one other thing, and it happened last week, and I should have said something last week. Significant ruts right there at Lee Road. It would be the far northern part of the Pheasants Forever Garden. There are ruts where somebody has gone off, and they're pretty considerable. I should have told you last week, but I didn't. And shout out, it's amazing. They got the dumpsters dumped out at Lee Road Park, and trying to get the dumpsters taken care of. Is there anything else that we were going to work on out there before the season's completely over?
We'll probably do some more removal. We've got some discussion whether we're going to move the Winterfest back to Civic Plaza.
Right, I knew that.
Then it's not as imperative that we get it cleaned up. But,
And it's not a big, this is just for my edification. We don't have to get anything cleaned up, moved out for pickleball construction, anything like that? Okay. All right. Eric did work hard trying just to get dumpsters out there and then getting them emptied. It was quite the effort. Shout out Jim Hennigan and his men did yeoman's work on the landscaping here at the city building. Eric's boys came in and pitched in and helped also. So if you get a chance, give a shout out. And it was, 3 weeks ago when it was hell on earth out here with the heat and the like. So, and we're taking care of that. Colleagues,
Mr. Martin working.
that was real sweat.
Yeah, it was.
You probably need to go get a manicure or something afterwards. Colleagues, any questions for Eric?
I got one question. The area that's across Post Road from the Cultural Campus.
Okay.
Who mows that? I mean, they finally mowed it, but it took them a long time.
It's owned by, is it Boomerang?
Yeah, that's right.
They own that
Are
parcel.
they still in that building?
Well, I think they still go in occasionally. I think they're working from home primarily.
Much.
But yeah, they own that parcel also.
But if we're gonna have, the Cultural Campus, then it kind of looks bad.
Yes, I agree.
Thing like what you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's all.
I will say something to Letha about Mo.
Okay. Eric, real quick, this is from last month, the issue of picnic tables at Lee Road looking a bit on the tired side.
Yeah, we've got the 12 that have set aside for special events. We'll probably take out there after the season.
Okay.
Leave them out there, and we'll rotate those out, and we'll go get some additional picnic tables at the penitentiary.
Okay. Anything, colleagues, for Eric? Questions? Eric, you got anything for us
I
new?
think you covered it all, Jeff, so.
Oh, wow. I am good for something. Not much. All right. Well, we have some old business and got old friends here.
If you would add the preferred.
Yes.
thing.
That's the paving.
Did we send that to everybody?
I can't be quiet a minute, people. I got to think. I can't spell. Okay. Preferred paving. Got it. All right. Well, we've got some friends here. Mr. Trace got an update. Want to chat? I know we got an event coming up, so share.
Do indeed. Afternoon, everyone.
Sir.
So a quick update on the butterfly plot project, but I will mention that Elizabeth Masur is here, and she can probably be much more detailed than I can be and answer any questions. However, there was, as I think you know, there was a marathon Common Council session in this room last evening where Resolution number 12, 2021 passed with unanimous support. So what that means is that essentially funds the first phase of the Lawrence Butterfly Project. What that includes is, as I understand it, is preparation of land and planting of native materials in 4 city parks: Gen Park, Lee Road Park, Veterans Park, and Soccer Park, also known as Richard, on South Richard Avenue. So very exciting. That was exciting to see that development last night, and as I mentioned, Elizabeth can probably provide a little bit more detail if you're so inclined to hear those details. Jeff is correct. Our foundation is going to host our inaugural fundraising event, a fall festival on October the 3rd, Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Amy serves on the committee. Thank you, Amy, for all your work on that. So it's a family-friendly event. We're going to have live music, food trucks, tethered hot air balloon rides, thanks to Remax Realty. Games and activities. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. And yes, hopefully the weather that day is going to be sunny and 70.
Yes, it is.
Perfect. The only thing that would slow the balloon rides down would be wind or inclement weather. So.
And what time's that?
Fingers are crossed.
What time's that kick off, Trace?
1 o'clock.
Okay.
1 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
Let's have some fun, make some money. That's what we're
Sure.
after.
Yeah, we
Got
have to
it.
get this foundation funded.
Got it.
And on that note, we're continuing the park bench and tree dedication program that's still active on our website and active on social media channels. That's where individuals, organizations, companies and the like can purchase a tree for planting or purchase a park bench that's dedicated or memorialized towards someone, but also logoed with the company logo if they're so inclined. Fundraising activity for us is obviously too. And the nice thing about this is both trees and park benches, those are all sourced locally, so those dollars stay here in Lawrence. So please help spread word of that and the fall festival, if you would, with your social media networks. Share it with your HOAs. I've had several HOAs reach out, and we share that across Facebook or different platforms, your churches, social networks, et cetera, et cetera. Okay?
Right.
So that's all I had. Brief. Any questions?
Questions?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Go ahead, Amy.
Trace, I know that in our discussions, we have some of the flyers. If any of us are wanting to post flyers, where can we get those from?
Well, you can certainly grab them off of social media.
Okay.
Facebook is probably the most popular platform most people know about. However, if you would like something sent to you via email, or if we're going to get some yard signs printed up, and if you'd like to have those in your front yard.
Yeah, I like hard copies because especially at LN, I'll stick them in mailboxes, a hard copy.
Oh, that'd be
type
great.
Of thing. If I could get a hard copy, yes.
And Dr. Dana Altmeyer is going to help us spread the word
Okay.
across the
Got it.
platform as well. But I'll quickly rattle off my email address, so just shoot me a message and let me know if you'd like any of those items. So it's Trace, Trace, at Lawrence Parks, that's plural, lawrenceparksin.org. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, Lizzie, Ms. Mazur, it's your show. You're now officially a partner. When I answered back today, we'd been emailing, and I go, we let our partner, so you're now a partner with us.
I just want to say thank you to the city council for giving $15,000 to get this project going. And I want to say thank you to Eric and everyone's support. The support has been fabulous, and So in the spring, just think there will be fields in 4 different parks, and little sprouts will be coming up. And remember the saying that first they sleep, then they creep, then they leap, meaning the plants. So in the spring, just a little bit of growth, and it'll keep on going. But in a few years, we will have milkweed and bee balm and butterflies and pollinators, and there will be lots of life in Lawrence Township. And it's thanks to everyone recognizing that this is so important, especially monarch butterflies. They're down by, some figures say 90%. And for us to be helping them, if some people say butterflies, schmutterflies, it's not true. This is really important. They're a canary in the coal mine, and we're making it different.
They are a barometer in the health of an ecosystem, that's for sure. Real quick, Miss Liz, I see that email. I wrote, get your calendar open. We can schedule. We'll look at the 3 folks that you've entertained conversations with. So Eric and I are fairly flexible. So if possible, you can throw rocks at me if it's not, sometime next week. Possibly we can get together and look at folks and go from there. Is that too soon? Not soon enough?
Oh, I'm ready
Okay. So
if you want to meet. I want.
Well, I'm going to say, tomorrow, Friday, I'm good also. So if you decide when you want to meet, let me know and we'll get together. I'm fairly easy.
Are you talking to Eric?
Both, all of you. I'm good to go. But we just want to check those contracts over, kind of finalize, drop dead where we want to do this. So we're ready. So ready to go.
They seem all fairly close. There's one that's here in Indianapolis, 2 in Indianapolis,
Okay.
one in Bloomington, so we'll look at those.
So can we have a conversation? Let's go on Monday sometime. Monday, I got a reuse authority meeting, so Monday works. If I'm going to have a meeting, I like to have them all together.
Okay, so shoot me an email and I will be there.
Okay. That'll be fun. See, these are fun meetings, guys.
So, any particular questions?
No.
Otherwise, I will let Jeff continue leading the fun.
Just a reminder, we'll spray and we have to have 2 weeks before we can do any seeding. Soil kind of neutral.
Going to do its thing. Okay. All righty.
Couldn't be any time before.
First, second week of October. But at least we'll be moving. All right. That's what I want to do. Move. Thank you, ma'am. Miss Judith? See, 3 of our partners here. I actually like all 3.
Well, hello. Let's see, update for the Fort Bend Cultural Campus. We are really coming into a close. There's not a lot that has changed over the last month. We still have the 2 main projects that are unfinished. That is the amphitheater and the non-musical swings. But we are getting bids for those, and we feel confident that we'll get those finished. We have let loose Indiana Stage, or Indy Stage, I guess, to create the new curtains for the Starrett Center, so that it will have theatrical curtains. And Bowen Technovations is ordering all of the movie screen or projection screen, projector, sound equipment. So that should be coming in this fall as well.
How are we coming along with HVAC at the theater?
So we still have some issues there, and Envoy is back at work trying to remedy those
Okay.
problems.
Got it.
We still have issues with HVAC. We still have a large punch list to complete. We're not done with all the little
Niceties.
the fine details are still hanging out there, but they're working on them.
What fun stuff do you have coming up?
Arts for Lawrence is opening the theater for a full season of live drama. We're wrapping up our summer session, so all the Fridays at the Fort are finished now, as are the classical music Sundays. But we have Tuesdays, we have free line dancing on the stage, so if anybody wants to do line dancing, come on over to the theater at 6 p.m. We have our free Poets Laureate every fourth Tuesday of the month, and that's in our new boardroom. And then we have an array of theater opening, Laramie Project, Elizabeth Rex, they're escaping me, but they're all on our website, artsforlawrence.org.
There you go, that's what I wanted.
Yep, artsforlawrence.org. We're ecstatic with our new program director. He has us connected to a lot of great performers, as well as we're really thrilled that our partnership with the musicians from the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra is very strong. They want to come back. So they performed 6 times this summer. All of them were free, and they will be back next summer, hopefully in the fall, so it's cooler, so that they can perform outdoors, because most of our outdoor programming was moved indoors this year for either rain or heat. So,
Thank you, ma'am.
any questions?
And if you get a chance, working with Judy and Jay is fun. Now, I know this lady, when you said...
Do have fun.
When you said the drama of performance, I didn't know it was Judy and the construction of the but no, it is, they are enjoyable to be around. I don't have to worry about the stress part, but it's fun. And it's what it's supposed to be.
We've got a lot of great programming in the community.
I just got a question. Ski Landscape was out there today working?
Yes.
Yeah,
So they are one of the subcontractors from Envoy. They did all of the landscaping. They also did the pavers down the History Walk and the sprinkler system. So they came back. They have a laundry list of punch items that they need to remedy. They will be back again in the probably in the spring, maybe late fall. There's some dead trees, there's some plantings that have to be replaced, but they like to give them a whole,
Whole season.
to maybe come back on their own. But they recognize that we've got a few dead trees and some missing stuff.
But after that part's done, the parks will be responsible for...
Yes, starting next spring, Parks would be responsible for the maintenance of the beds. Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you, ma'am.
Great for, an indie due day or
Yes.
due day.
That's kind of where I'd like to hang out on due day. Ms. Corey, you have anything for the good of the cause?
No, just for those who don't know. Just for those who don't know me, I want to introduce myself. I am Corey Korn, and I am the Deputy Chief of Staff here at the City of Lawrence, the second one. And so I'll also be working with you with things happening with the parks, so I look forward to that.
I couldn't ask for a better, and I say this, they've heard me say this already, Judy and Corey together can be exhausting. And I don't mean that in a bad way, and you know what I'm saying there, they can be exhausting. You just let them go. But it's vitally needed, and even the mayor would even tell you, there are certain, these people know what the heck they're doing. That's why I was able to tick off a list of activities there at the beginning. That's just the start of things. And once we get the Civic Plaza built and all of that, it'll be even sillier. And that's what we want. We want silly. So glad to have Ms. Corey on board. All right, we've got some new business here. We got several items that we do need to knock out, and so we might as well rock and roll. If you take a look there. And Eric, I'll let you walk us through. We have a contract agreement between Charles Brandt and the city here, and that entails the construction of pickleball courts and the bonding and all of that. Eric, have at
I
it.
did forward everyone the contract.
Right.
Caitlin has reviewed them, and they are in proper order. I'll just let you know that December the 2nd is hopefully their finish date for the pickleball courts, if weather permits. Again, for the lump sum of $283,800. And I think that was all that noticed. They do have the bond issue, the performance bonds came in a separate document.
Right.
So We have those in hand.
Eric, real quick, just refresh everybody's memory, what is the complete scope of work when we say we're putting in a pickleball court? What does that mean?
Initially, they'll come out and we've done some surveying and some marking. You can go out and see the four corners. Roughly where the first diamond was on the north side of and east of the concession stand. So they've marked those corners out. The first thing will be going to do some bore sampling and check the compaction, and then they'll come in and start the grade work. And
How big is the area again? Joe?
It's 128 by 136.
And lighting capacity, how many poles? 4?
6.
6 lighting, got it.
I guess we lucked out. They couldn't get the 50K or 400 kW, so we had to go with a 50 kW, which is a brighter light. So we'll have more. We'll actually have better lighting system.
And Eric did say December 1st, pickleball people are like golfers. If it's 40 degrees out, they'll be playing pickleball.
As long as the courts
Dry.
are dry, they'll play. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a different world. There is an indie pickleball organization if you want to follow. And, I've had people go, pickleball, what's that? Follow them on Facebook. Eric has met with them. It's a real thing that they are pretty obsessed, and I mean that in a good way. The mayor's nuts about it. Brett Krause, principal of Lawrence North, was addicted to being a golfer. He's a hell of a golfer. He is Mr. Pickleball extraordinaire now, so.
They were over at St. Mary's.
Right.
Pickleball.
Yep.
They should have their own.
Good. Say, if you want to see, Joe and I went up to Cynthia Park up in Fishers just to look at, a pickleball arrangement park. It doesn't take up, the footprint's not very big. It just is, and it's extremely family friendly. If you got a playground, a pickleball court, and wearing my other hat with the reuse authority with what's being built as far as residential out here at the fort, and what young Joe's going to talk about here in the area of trails, it's a natural fit going forward 3-5 years out in particular. Yes, Miss Amy.
Is there a ribbon cutting plan?
Yes, yes, there will definitely be a ribbon cutting when we're done.
At the conclusion, yeah.
Yeah, at the conclusion.
Jumping ahead.
And Eric will be, you'll be the first pickleballer.
Pickleball league.
But it is exciting. Like I said, it's it's the second step of repurposing. First step, I think, of repurposing that park out there is the addition of the trail, which we have some business to do with that here shortly tonight. So this is the second step. So with that in mind, I would entertain a motion.
I got a question for you.
Yep, go ahead.
It's arbitration, right? If there's a dispute of any kind?
Correct.
Is that standard for what have we done that before?
As far as the mention on the contract? Yeah.
I just noticed it marked arbitration in there.
Again, it's, I see what that
Yeah,
is.
arbitration, go to court.
Yeah, binding dispute resolution.
Process that goes.
Is it like American Arbitration Association?
Uh-huh.
That way.
Dispute resolution, Article 6.1, there you go. The architect served as the initial decision maker unless the parties appoint below another individual, not a party to this agreement, to serve as the initial decision makers. It's on page 5 of the agreement. And then 6.2, you have binding dispute resolution.
Yeah, it's binding arbitration.
There you go, yeah.
Is there any kind of guarantee that, you know what my concern is?
Yeah,
Thing.
yeah.
Is there any kind of guarantee that, or as soon as we take it, is it ours?
Performance. Data commits substantial completion. Okay, here we go. Payments. The amount of cash. No, I do not see that.
And Tom, I do not see a guarantee of,
I assume that means as soon as we take possession.
It's ours.
yeah.
What I would say is under section 5.1.7, we have outlined 5% retainage, so there'll be a substantial completion, and there'll be a punch list. If at any point there's any issues there, we retain a portion of that money that we pay them until all those issues. We accept the project, it'll be fully completed to the standards that we agreed upon, so there shouldn't be any issues.
Got it. It's on us to make sure it's done right. Anything else? All
We'll
right.
be out, we'll certainly be watching the project.
I will entertain a motion here, the city to enter into agreement with Charles C. Brandt for construction, as they do stated, the city of Lawrence, 8 pickleball courts. Hello?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion, question? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, start building. Okay, next before us here, and Joseph, you can come up here, and since it says, Dear Mr. Murphy, that'd be you. One of the other things we've been working hard, I'm very proud of the city of Lawrence. I was talking today, the city of Lawrence became the first that had recycling back in '87. We got us a cultural campus, we're building this. Getting trails, meaningful trails, connectivity, and this is Joe Murphy's. Everybody has a pet project or a passion, so I'm calling this Joe's passion here. So Joe, what are we wanting to do here, sir?
That too.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a rare occasion to have 2 deputy chief of staff in the room at one time.
I'm barely tolerating you.
It's an exciting day. I think you guys will recall, for those of you who are on the board, back in 2019 that we applied for a grant through the Indiana DNR called Next Level Trails Grant. At the time, we applied for a trail that would stretch on 63rd Street and Lee Road, right in front of Lee Road Park, as well as Forest Glen Elementary School, and Fall Creek Valley Middle School, and then the Watson Farm subdivision. We were unfortunately unsuccessful in that attempt. We've since received a good deal of feedback from DNR. We've reevaluated our priorities internally, and they've now opened up for an additional round of funding through that grant program, which is due December 1st of this year. We are again going to pursue that in an attempt to secure some funding to build a trail somewhere in the vicinity of Lee Road and 63rd Street, more than likely, although we're still keeping our options open at the time being. But one thing that was really successful and helpful in 2019 when we applied for the grant was partnering with United Consulting to help with some of the technical aspects of the application, things that like site survey, project timeline, creating cost estimates that are very accurate and very detailed. And so I would suggest that we enter into a similar agreement that we did back in 2019 with United Consulting for the sum of, I believe it's $13,000 some odd dollars. I'm blanking on the number here. Where's it at?
And the primary purpose, Joe, their scope of services, to get into the weeds a little bit, would be?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So the scope of service is in there. Like I said, it's primarily technical stuff that we don't have the capability of doing in-house. Eric and I are pretty capable at, rolling up our sleeves and doing some grimy work. But when it comes to the engineering of the project, determining cost estimates, construction estimates, project timelines, site surveys to determine what the actual construction layout will look like, their assistance is really absolutely necessary to applying towards the grant. And to put it kind of into context, if the grant were to be awarded, we'd be receiving somewhere in the ballpark of probably $1 million to $1.5 million in grant funding from the state of Indiana through the Department of Natural Resources. So it's in my opinion, small potatoes compared to what the upside is if we were awarded the grant. And I feel that this assistance is absolutely necessary to producing the kind of application that would even get us considered for that kind of grant. So that's why I would strongly recommend that the board approve this so that United Consulting can get started on their work immediately.
What's the timeline again, Joe, for the grant?
Applications are due December 1st of this year. The scope of their work will probably be completed, I believe it says, by the second week of November of this year, which will give us plenty of time to incorporate that into application and the pieces that Eric and I and the Parks Department will work on our side of things before we formally submit to the DNR for review.
And just to give you, we're asking for $1 million. Permanently in Richmond City.
did you-
We're asking for $1 million. Indianapolis has just approved $20 million out of their budget.
25 million.
$25
Right.
million.
And there will be, as with the previous round, it's a 80-20 minimum split, so the city will be responsible for paying for, at a minimum, 20% of the project. That would be money that would be covered outside of Parks and Rec money, so that wouldn't be money that this board would be burdened with paying for, and it'll be allocated out of another portion of the budget.
Go ahead.
How extensive would the trails be? Do you have any idea about?
So
Go.
the trail that, well, we have a 2018 City of Lawrence Trail and Pedestrian Master Plan that's published, and it's available on our website if you're interested in looking at the full expansion of what could become the trails of Lawrence. The initial trail, we would probably look to build something in the range of 1 mile to 1.5 miles. That's really as far as our dollar would be able to stretch at this point in time, and that would just be an initial phase that would hopefully in the future, say 5-10 years down the line, connect to multiple miles of trails that would stretch from here at the fort all the way up to the northwest corner, or the northeast corner, and all the way down to the southwest corner of town.
$1 million a mile, would that be a fair estimate?
In terms of construction costs, that's probably pretty fair. The elephant in the room is that there's a fair deal of property acquisition that goes along with building trails typically. If you're strategic about where you start, you can avoid massive amounts of property acquisition early on. And what we're talking about is not taking down someone's house and building a trail through their yard. What we're talking about is taking 10 to 20 feet at the front of their property in area that's typically used for additional right-of-way for cars and off-ramps and things like that, and using it for pedestrian access for a trail, for a 10-foot wide trail. So none of these are total takes, anything like that. We're not suggesting that we condemn houses, tear them down, and build through their backyards. Like I said, that's not the suggestion. It's just that we need the strip along Lawrence main roads. And unfortunately, the way Lawrence was built out, I won't get into it.
Right.
We don't have a lot of existing right-of-way that's available to us. So property acquisition does become part of the project.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about like bike paths along the road, not separate from the road, but
Bike paths are typically funded, in this case, they'd be funded by the Indianapolis Metropolitan Planning Organization. The DNR Next Level Trails grant, bike lanes are not eligible.
okay.
They have to be separate from the road to be eligible for this grant application, which would be the focus of United Consulting's work would be just on this grant application for the city of Lawrence. It wouldn't range out to additional investigations into what possible bike paths are available or stuff. Although I will say that United Consulting also did produce our 2018 City of Lawrence Pedestrian Master Plan. So they're familiar with the area and they understand the unique issues that plague Lawrence when it comes to building pedestrian infrastructure.
Any other question? All right, I'd entertain a motion. The city entering into an agreement with United Consulting to assist in developing a next level trail grant application.
We do have funds in the professional services portion of the
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
thank you. I was going to ask you that.
$13,750.
Yeah.
And then also, anything that we spend on the front end, we can use as our match.
That's right.
Got, yeah, okay, so it can go into them, okay.
Even though it's that amount, it's,
Yeah.
you can utilize it.
That's right. Thank you, Eric. That's, yeah. This will be part of our grant application that we spent money up front to produce a quality application, and they recommend that you do that.
I'll move that.
Second?
Second.
Those in favors?
Aye.
Joe, before you leave real quick, I've also going to put you on the spot because you mentioned bikes, the Lawrence Bike Share Program.
Yeah, that's an exciting thing that you might have seen an initial glimpse of on our Facebook page last week. But the city of Lawrence will be formally launching a bike share program, I think probably towards the end of this month, early next month. Do you know the exact date on that, Eric? It'll be sometime either later this month or early next month, and it'll initially be 5 bikes housed here at a station right outside in the parking lot here on the south side of the building, and then an additional 5 spots. I believe one of the potential areas is right outside the Arts for Lawrence Cultural Campus. And so it'll be similar to the Pacer bike share program you see downtown Indianapolis or any other major city you've seen. I'm sure you're familiar with. It'll all be done through an app on your phone. Check out the bike, enter your payment information. It'll release the bike from its stand. And at that point, you pay by the minute for your bike. And I think it's 10 cents a minute. So you're talking about maybe a couple dollars an hour or something like that. To ride around, and you can take it anywhere you want within the city, but then it does have to be returned at one of the 2 stands.
Joe, real quick, this is me just thinking here. Will it be possible if folks would say they want to go into the state park, they don't want to drive in, but they want to go biking and they get a bike, will folks be allowed to park on city building property?
So you're saying if they were interested in, they could park here?
Yeah, and go into the,
bike and
yeah.
go in? I mean, that's a great question, actually. I think that my official opinion would be this is a lot that's used primarily for city business, but if they choose to park here, I don't know if we're in the business of towing people out of our lot.
I didn't think so, but I just thought I'd throw that in there, maybe to
Our primary
complicate
concern would
things.
just be making sure that the bikes get returned
Right.
to their stands at the end of their use,
Right.
that they're not left,
That's-
and we have to coordinate with the DNR to get them returned.
Yep, I think that's probably the bigger issue.
And obviously, as with any kind of bike share program, there'll be heavy fines on the individual user if they are left in the state park and
He will get
they
flogged.
keep running.
All right, last thing on the docket tonight, stick around. Any questions on the bike share? Okay, Joe brought to my attention last week and came to fruition today. So real quick, it's a project proposal, paving of our Lee Road walking path. Joe, go.
Yeah, so I apologize for the late hour in which this arrived in your inboxes. Preferred Asphalt issued us a project proposal to pave Lee Road a couple weeks ago. We were working through the details of how we were going to make sure it was a viable project. I've received confirmation that it will be fully paid for, and it's not a concern of our controller at this time. But like I said, this would be a proposal to pave the entire Lee Road path from the parking lot, all the internal trails that exist inside the forest, and also connect to the existing sidewalk along Lee Road so that you would have a fully connected trail system through the woods there that would service now not just bikers, or not just walkers and runners, but also bikers. So that's the advantage. Another significant advantage, and something that's really pertinent right now, is we just passed the contract for Unite Consulting to help with the Next Level Trails grant. This kind of project lets the DNR know that we're very serious about trails in Lawrence.
That's the one thing.
We're paying money out of our own pockets to start to build these things internally in our parks, and it's viewed very favorably when we include these kind of projects in our application. So
That's the one thing Joe and I learned after when we got turned down the first time was DNR is all about trails and the like, but and the builder in the city, and you've got to show how serious you are about, having trails that are in place already, having skin in the game. And like Joe said, this is a big step in going in that direction.
Yep, and then just a couple more things about the project would be, obviously, it says they're a 10-foot wide trail. So that's the standard anymore, is 10 foot wide. I spoke with Preferred Asphalt about a week ago. At that time, it was about a 6-week lead time on getting materials in to start the project. From that point, I think they estimated it probably be about 10 work days of work, 7 to 10 work days to actually pave the entire trail. So it'd be about 2 weeks of work.
So it's possible in best case scenario, be done by the end of October,
It's certainly possible. I don't
at least the middle of November, more realistically.
Any more of the badge plants, barely knowing close.
I was going to say, because winter around here doesn't really get stupid if we found out till February, March. Joe, real quick, page 2 of the proposal, it says paved walking path. Okay, is the total cost $119,000?
That would be the max cost that it would be. Another thing that's important to note is there's under the paved walking path scope, there's an asterisk down there that's relevant. Jim Hennigan in our streets department has offered up use of his loaders, his big semis that can haul material in and out of the job site to the contractor. And Preferred Asphalt's done a good amount of work with our streets department and doing other strip patching projects and things like that. So that will, I think Eric estimated that, probably shave about $8,800 off the project cost if that estimate is accurate in terms of hours and hourly cost to the project. So I would estimate the final cost will come in somewhere closer to 112.
Okay, and these funds are coming from where, just for the record?
These will be funds that'll be expensed. It'll be a one-time expense for a project out of the controller's budget. So this will not impact the existing 2021 Parks budget. But we wanted to bring it before you guys because it is going to be a Parks project that's impactful to your board, and so that's why we're seeking your approval to go ahead and engage Preferred Asphalt to get a project agreement in place.
Questions? Go ahead, Tom.
How much of the paths that are in Community Park are considered to be trails? Because some of it goes through the.
That's a good point.
I think, go ahead.
I know a portion of that was through a grant program.
Right.
Through NR, but it was a trails program they had before.
Yeah.
Many years ago. That's the one we used the rubber material.
That's right.
The recycle
Right.
grant that we.
Okay.
So Tom, the way I understand it from my conversations with the DNR, and I attended a workshop about a month back, relevant directly to this grant proposal, and they deem anything over 8 foot wide and paved as trail. So I'm pretty sure that all, if not most, of the internal trails inside Community Park qualify, as well as the one on 56th Street and Lee Road, all the way down to 59th Street. So that would be the kind of trail that we're connecting to with this trail, and then with future applications going forward, we want to expand that up into the north and as well to the east.
Some of the trails or paths in
Yeah.
Community Park need to be upgraded.
Yeah,
So is that would come out of our budget, is that right?
That would be, yeah.
Yeah.
We can certainly talk to Preferred Asphalt about
Yeah.
quote. We have some issues at Veterans Park also that,
Okay.
so we'll get Preferred Asphalt, maybe that's something we can combine.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
This agreement, or,
Yep.
you know,
Some of it's not very good shape, though.
yeah.
and again, just some strip patching or
Yes.
removal and reinstall.
Okay. Thanks.
Anything else? I'd entertain a motion tonight. Potential agreement between Preferred Asphalt and the City of Lawrence for paving of our walking trail out at Lee Road Park.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Let's make sure I'm not, okay, we got trails.
I was
Sharon?
going to add an additional item, just some additional information on the pickleball courts and our progress with Charles Brandt. They have provided engineering plans to the City of Lawrence and to our engineer and our DPW department. And last I saw, Shri Venugopal, our city engineer, gave them the all clear to go ahead and proceed. So I don't have an exact date for you yet. I'm working on that, but I think that we might see ground start to break there in relatively short order. So it's exciting stuff.
Good.
All right. Anything else? Anything for the good of the cause? Young Norman in the back, anything? Tell your mom you want to go to Dairy Queen? That's how I get yelled at by moms of little kids, but what the heck? Got to have a hobby. Being none, let's go home.